remember I told everybody when I first became supervisor here that the previous administration and some of them sitting in the crowd was stealing. Did they want to write that story? No, they didn't.
Well, it's going down in Dalton. And I told you guys, I've been blowing the whistle and telling you guys that the last administration was corrupt. When Tiffany Henyard would go to Thornton Township or she would talk to Dalton, she would say that y'all mad at me for basically what she said. Y'all mad at me for basically doing the same thing that the administrations before me was doing. And none of y'all said nothing. Zuccarelli was there for 29 years and he was stealing money. That's what she said. She was calling him out. She was calling out Riley Rogers and all of those that was there before her, right? And she said, y'all didn't say nothing. But the little engine that could got in, now all of a sudden, y'all upset. But Tiffany Henyard, now once she got in, they thought that they could control Tiffany Henyard. And they found out that they couldn't control Tiffany Henyard. Because I've been saying, why was she there in the first place? So now when she got in, she fired Stephanie Wiedemann, she fired some people in Thornton Township, and then this stuff started happening.
For a while now.
Thornton Township trustee Chris Gonzalez says he's frustrated by the lack of transparency about the township's bills and credit cards.
So that's one of the reasons I vote no when we go through our board packets. It's like, you know, some of this stuff, it's like you don't know exactly what it's for, and then when you ask a question, there's no answer. You were the one who found these.
Yep.
Stephanie Wiedemann is a former Thornton Township employee fired by Henyard and now a whistleblower. She says Henyard's dual roles as mayor of Dalton and supervisor of the township, two separate government entities, are constantly being blurred.
I have found, bills that were made out to the village of Dalton that were paid with a Thornton Township check. It's hard to decipher what is township and what is Dalton because she blends them so carelessly.
And it should be church and state.
It absolutely should be.
Wiedemann and others believe Henyard is using township funds because Dalton is broke.
And then you had ABC 7 Chicago doing their investigative reports, right? And they uncovered this because Tiffany Henyard was dealing with a company that was already under investigation.
And this morning, we're taking a closer look at the subpoena and ongoing investigation into Dalton Mayor and Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard. The Illinois Answers Project found that federal investigators are now seeking records from a suburban contractor after the village of Dalton paid them hundreds of thousands of dollars in no-bid, no-contract work in 2022. And here to talk more about this is Illinois Answers investigative reporter Casey Toner. Good morning, Casey. Good to see you again.
Good to see you as well.
Okay, so Casey, tell us a little bit about this subpoena and what you guys have found so far.
Well, we found that in 2022, at the urging of Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the village of Dalton paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in no bid, no contract work to a West suburban contractor named Oak Construction. And this is notable because Oak Construction is linked to multiple public corruption cases.
So with all the smoke that was coming, because like I said, she had the Tiffany Henyard's podcast. She had so many different people. Her former chief of staff, she was firing employees left and right. She was getting them out of there, right? Anybody that wasn't on board with her regime and the way that she was going to do it, you was getting canned. You was gone, right? So at one meeting, she came to a Thornton Township meeting and she began to express herself and call out previous administrations. And it sounded like this.
Remember, I told everybody when I first became supervisor here that the previous administration and some of them sitting in the crowd was stealing. Did they want to write that story? No, they did not. Because right is right. Y'all wanted to keep that on hush, but nobody would say nothing. But I did. But nobody in the media would say anything. And I hope you're recording this, Lance and John, and putting it in your paper. Because I'm still telling that story. So now that I created a Tiffany on the Move podcast to tell my story, since don't nobody want to pick it up, and I'm being attacked by the media left or right, I am telling y'all my story. And truth will be heard on the podcast because no one wants the truth to come out of what they did before me.
But see, Kiana Belcher, not to be undone, she heard all the things that Tiffany Henyard was saying, but she was like, yeah, I hear you, but where that money at? Where that check? And Kiana Belcher was very upset, and she was calling out Tiffany Henyard and asking her about that $500,000 check. Where is that money? And she brought it up in a Thornton Township meeting. And people made videos all over the country. And for some reason, it went quiet. Where is that money, Tiffany? Kiana was very upset. Kiana was asking like this.
Just for the record, And the reason, I guess, I want all of the citizens to know why we're so adamant about this budget and what's going on. May 12, 2021, a resolution was passed. The following persons are hereby authorized to be added as signatories for all city accounts: Mayor Tiffany Henyard, Village Clerk Allison Key. Any prior signatories or individuals authorized and hereby removed from the accounts, prior authorization is revoked. Number of signatures required are a combination of both signatures. At the approval of payment by the village board, each check shall be signed by the mayor and the clerk. We have a $500,000 check signed by Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Y'all wonder why we worried about the money? This is why we worried about the money. $561,000 check with one signature on there. It's a problem. That means that money is being spent, and after, we don't find out till after the check's been cashed. That's why we up here complaining about it.
But Kiana Belcher was so angry that at another meeting, she exploded and went off on Tiffany Henyard. Check this out.
But at the same time, you see his discussion. I asked you, did we get $6.8 million? You won't answer that. I'm telling you, these people, you can't tell me nothing. These people are emailing us about somebody else's property, talking about they want $7,000. These people. So when you sit here and talk about what have I done, I don't have to sit here and videotape everything I do. But I know what I ain't done. I ain't commingled no money. I ain't stole no money. And I ain't going to jail.
Ladies and gentlemen, quiet down.
That's what I ain't going to jail. That's what I ain't going to jail. That's what I ain't done. You going to jail. Don't worry about it. Nah, because I asked you a question. $6.8 million. We not getting. That's what I told you yesterday. Because you ain't talking on the phone. The email said Tiffany Henyard responded and was going to let me know this morning. So where's the response? All right, we gonna wrap it up. Bring it back up. All right, you don't want the truth. You don't want the truth. You don't want the truth. No, we ain't getting $6.8 million, and we ain't gonna get it. And she spent it before it came.
But then we get to the police chief, Louis Lacey, who's now been indicted on bankruptcy fraud. And we're hearing that he has a whole history of stealing money. You know, according to the indictment, Louis Lacey, since 1980, has filed numerous personal bankruptcy cases in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the Northern District of Illinois, according to the petition in 2019 and 2020. The recent petitions automatically stayed enforcement of a settlement agreement Lacey has reached in 2017 with the plaintiff in a lawsuit in state court. The indictment alleges that Lacey filed in the 2019 bankruptcy petition shortly after the plaintiff moved to enforce the settlement agreement, accusing Lacey of still owing $43,000 of the $55,000 settlement. Now, with all the money he was getting paid, why didn't he just pay it? I don't know. But let's look at some of the preliminary findings that Lori Lightfoot found on this police chief.
We thought it also important for you to know that Acting Chief Lacey has accumulated overtime. It's our understanding that he is not part of the collective bargaining unit and has not been for some time, which under normal circumstances would mean that he is not entitled to overtime. But as you can see here, for FY22, FY23, and FY24, and we're now in fiscal year 2025, through those 4 years, he's accumulated $215,747,000 just in overtime.
This guy was getting way up in the high six figures. For years, he was just taking money when it was alleged that he wasn't even eligible to get it. He wasn't even eligible to get the money, family. The indictment alleges that Lacey made several material false and fraudulent representations and oral statements and documents submitted in the bankruptcy cases, including underreporting his monthly income and concealing bank accounts. This is the dude that's supposed to be the chief. The false representation allowed Lacy to fraudulently calculate his monthly income for purposes of repayment of his creditors and substantially less than it should have. And listen, the guy was stealing money. The dude was stealing money. But this was your police chief. And this, you already had Keith Freeman that got indicted. All of these people was right at the top, from the left arm to the right arm, and in the middle is Tiffany Henyard. And this is the corruption, and you think that she's not corrupt? I mean, it's to the point where now the trustees are saying she's still doing this.
There was a deputy chief that was placed on administrative leave. He disregarded that and showed up the very next day. He then received a notice that he was terminated, and he despite being notified that he was terminated and in discussions with the Fraternal Order of Police, the FOP, he again showed up today. Once again, the mayor has changed the locks at the Village Hall. Everyone recall how orderly and how nice it was to walk into the village board meeting on Monday night when the Madam Clerk and the trustees had key fobs to get into the village. Once again, this is about the third time that she has changed the locks, so the elected officials do not have access and cannot get into the Village Hall, which belongs to the people. I got a call from an attorney this afternoon who unfortunately says I have a couple lawsuits that I have to file against the village.
Man, listen. This guy right here, he was fired, and he still showed up to work. Well, that lets you know that he doesn't go, but he likes to give authority, but he doesn't listen to no authority. He does what he wants to do. He has a history that's shown that he's been doing what he wants to do. He's a lawbreaker. He's not listening, but this is a guy with the badge sitting right next to Tiffany Henyard, advising her, because he's the OG. He's telling her what to do, what not to do. So now the ship is leaking oil. The ship is sinking fast. It's falling, right? And a lot of people is looking for life, is looking for a raft or something to hold themselves up. So Keith Freeman is allegedly snitching. I know that Louis Lacy gonna snitch. He ain't trying to be away from his wife. He telling off rip. He probably told, as soon as he got the letter, he opened, what y'all need to know. We know that Andrew Holmes is telling. So, listen, when you see the video of that $500,000 check, they want to know where that money at. When you see the investigative reports from ABC7 and how she was allocating money to this company that was already under investigation, and they didn't keep records of the money that was being spent, the feds got all that. They got all of that, right? So this, when you was giving out all that overtime, and you fired that cop, the other chief, and he went down to Florida and he started blowing the whistle. The feds got all of that. The feds got stuff that we don't even know. So that's why I told you guys, don't be in a rush. Take your time. Just take your time. They're gonna come when they need to come. But she came in, and I told you guys, why was she there in the first place? Andrew Gonzalez should be investigated. Because I want to know, I'd like to know if Zuccarelli was there for all those years and he was stealing money, according to Tiffany Henyard, and then you came in and you fired that W woman, and now she's declared war on you, and and she's trying to find anything she can to get you. Why did you want her there, Gonzalez? I want to know if Gonzalez and Zuccarelli, did they get along? Was Gonzalez and Zuccarelli, was they rivals? Because why would you put this woman here? You wanted a woman, you wanted the young person that you thought you could control, where maybe you can get in and take over. That's why you in the cameras every chance that you get, Gonzalez. Because I want to know why she was there in the first place. Even in Dalton, why was she there? Why did y'all put her there? As soon as she got there, she turned up, because she already knew what y'all was doing already. So now she come in, she snitching. So the minute she came into that Thornton Township and started snitching on what they was doing before, she already knew that the ship was sinking. And she said, if I'm going down, everybody going down. But I'm going to cut this video short right here. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button. Subscribe to Street Media TV. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.